Now, in the first module of the course, we discussed different ways that you can use and administer Splunk, from Splunk Web to CLI to REST API. And we also said that you can administer Splunk using configuration files. So these configuration files contain settings that are associated with your Splunk deployment. So any changes that you're making, you're creating reports, you're creating users, and so on, these actually update configuration files. Now, one of the things that you should note is that as a Splunk administrator, configuration files serve as a backbone. So you are going to find yourself working with configuration files, almost 100% of the time if you are working on Splunk Enterprise. So maybe you are administering a Splunk Enterprise deployment for an organization and things like that. It is very important for you to understand configuration files. Now, another point here is that they are mostly reserved for admins. So basically, Splunk users sometimes don't even have any knowledge of configuration files because their focus is mainly to get insights from data, right? You have your knowledge of Splunk search processing language, you're querying your data, and then maybe you are creating knowledge objects like reports, like dashboards, like alerts and things like that. But beyond that, Splunk users don't really, worry too much about what's happening in the back end. But now, in your journey of becoming a Splunk administrator, that is when you cross that bridge, because now you need to understand how all these changes are being updated in the back end. And that is where configuration files come in very handy. So configuration files, they are going to determine every aspect of your Splunk platform, as we have seen. And what we said again is that any changes that you make through the other methods that we discussed, being it Splunk Web User Interface, Command Line Interface, or REST API, they are going to result in updates and configuration files in the backend. So you are actually going to the source because that is where everything is found. And then a key point is that not even all the settings in configuration files are going to be exposed to other methods. So sometimes for certain configuration aspects, you are going to go to Splunk Web and you realize that the amount of settings that you have is limited. So if you want to make some advanced configurations, then you need access to configuration files. Now, when you install Splunk, these configuration files are available in a specific location in your directory structure. So Splunk configuration files are located in the etc folder of your installation directory. And again, as we've seen multiple times, the installation directory of Splunk is going to be referred to with the environment variable Splunk_home. And again, these are the defaults. So for Windows, when you install Splunk by default, it's going to put it in your home directory here, which is c/program files/Splunk. So that is your Splunk installation directory by default on Windows. Now, if you wanted to access configuration files, then you just have to go into the etc folder. On Linux, it's opt/Splunk, as we've already seen before. You go into etc to find your configuration files. And on Mac, it's applications/Splunk. And then you go into etc to find your configuration files. Now, how do you know that a file is a configuration file? So all these configurations files have an extension, which is .conf. So they all have the .conf extension in Splunk. And that's how you're going to identify them as configuration files. Now, when you have these configuration files in Splunk, they also have documentation. So for example, if I have a configuration file like inputs.conf, and then I'm interested in to know the structure of the configuration files, the settings that are available in that kind of file, and then, of course, get an example of that kind of file. You can also do that in Splunk by going to your installation directory, go to that same etc folder, go to system, and go to readme. So under the readme folder, you are going to find .conf.spec files for every single configuration file. You're going to find .conf.example for every single configuration file. The spec file is telling you the settings, the structure of the configuration file, and the settings that are available within that configuration file. And then the example is giving you the example of that configuration file. So if you are working with a file and then maybe you had issues understanding some of the settings and so on, you can actually go to conf.spec to check, or if you wanted to see an example of that configuration file, you can go to conf.example to check. Now, let's take the case of a Linux installation. So your Splunk Enterprise is installed on Linux. It means that your Splunk home by default is opt/Splunk if you don't change it. Now, that is what is going to be assigned to your Splunk home. So you say your Splunk default home in Linux, which is opt/Splunk. Now you go to your breakdown from there. So let's see some very important locations that you have within your installation directory of Splunk. If you go into your Splunk home, which is opt/bin in this case, /Splunk in this case, /bin, this is where Splunk CLI is located. So it contains other binaries as well. So remember, this is from where we are running those CLI commands. Then the next one here, which is the one that interests us, is our opt/Splunk/etc, which is where you are going to find your configuration files when Splunk is installed on Linux. And then the next one here, you have the lib. Of course, you are going to find Splunk related libraries here. And then here you have var. So here you're going to see variable files under this one. And for example, logs, because logs are always growing. Index buckets, because as you are indexing data, the index buckets are actually growing in real time. For example, the hot bucket, as we are going to see. So index data is also found in /var folder. And of course, you are going to have other folders as well. So this is just to give you some high level information of some of the important, directories that are located within your Splunk installation. Now, we have an exam tip here. Which top level directory holds Splunk configuration files? So here is a good answer. You go to your Splunk home and then you go to the etc folder. So now that we've seen the location of our configuration files, let's look at the format or structure of a configuration file. So a configuration file is made up of stanzas or different sections. So these represent different aspects of your configuration. Now, when you go into a stanza, you're going to see that that stanza always starts with a stanza header. So this one, for example, you have stanza 1 header. And then this one here is stanza 2. There's a stanza 2 header. And those headers are typically followed by configuration settings. So you are going to have configuration settings that are going to be in a, attribute value pairs. So you're going to have attribute 1 equals value 1, attribute 2 equals value 2, and so on and so forth. And one of the things that you have to know is that these attributes are case sensitive. Now, this is high level. In order to completely understand it, let's look at an example of a configuration file. So let's suppose that you had a Splunk installation, you were indexing data, and you felt you wanted to create 3 indexes. So you went and created an index called EPL, you went and created an index called web, you created an index called security. And let's suppose that you even created these indexes on Splunk web. So this information that you configured on Splunk Web is going to update the indexes.conf configuration file in the backend. So you are going to have a stanza for the EPL index. You are going to have a stanza for the web index, and you're going to have another stanza for the security index. Now, each of the stanzas is going to have a stanza header. So the stanza header is actually the index name. So that's what you're going to see here. So you have 3 indexes, EPL, web, and security. And the stanza header is going to be the index name. And then stanza headers are represented by index name, of course. That's what we have just said here. And then attributes are represented by the settings. So when you create an index, you're going to have a cold path, the home path, the max total, data size. These are like kind of default settings. When we discuss indexes, eventually you're going to see that there are additional settings that apply to indexes in Splunk. But this is just to highlight the structure of a configuration file.